We are with now Matt O'Connell back again on the podcast. Thank you for being back.
Yeah, absolutely, man.
Even though I dragged you away from a phone call.
No, you're good.
So, Matt, we were talking earlier about Gose. Is it Gose or is it Gose?
I mean, I've heard it pronounced both ways, but Gose is what I've...
Yeah, good. All right,
Yeah.
let's go.
Yeah.
All right, so Goses and like sour ales. What is the difference between the two? Like how they're brewed, or like what's the difference?
Gose is a style of sour ale. I mean, I don't know if there's like a generalized sour ale. I mean, I guess it just depends on I think it just depends on the method of brewing. But like what you're seeing mostly, especially around Florida, is like Florida Weiss or Berliner Weiss. Treated with like Florida locally grown fruits. Essentially, those are kettle soured, meaning that there's lactobacillus bacteria added into the tank. It's added into the brew kettle and kept at a warm temperature, not a hot temperature, but it's kept in there to essentially eat up some of the fermentable sugar and produce lactic acid and drop the pH. Okay. And essentially, it's a way of making a sour beer a lot faster than, say, like traditional lambic or like, wild fermentation, which you're just letting the natural wild, flora in the area ferment out a beer. And that takes time. I mean, traditional lambic can be 1, 2, 3 years aged. You can essentially make a kettle sour in about 48 hours.
Dang.
So I don't want to take away from kettle sours, because I do like them a lot, but essentially what it means is that in my eyes, a lot of kettle sours are a little bit more one-dimensional. They're sour for being sour. Mm-hmm. Like you're still going to get, depending on your grain bill and whatever you add to it, you're still going to get plenty of flavor. They're delicious. They're tart. They're thirst quenching. But essentially, you're just dropping the pH by using a bacteria.
Yeah.
When you're just fermenting openly in the wild, I mean, you're going to taste whatever's in that region, whatever's in that area. It's going to have more depth. It's going to have more complexity. It's going to have a longer time to sit. But Gose specifically is a sour ale that uses sea salt and coriander. Comes from Goslar, Germany, which I've always been told they have a higher salinity content in the water there.
Interesting. Okay.
So not necessarily salt water, but there's like higher salt in the water. Uh-huh. And so, as American brewers, adding sea salt and then adding coriander as well. But yeah, it's just one of several different types of sour ale.
Sweet. And what was the inspiration behind your guys' watermelon lime? If there was
watermelon was in season.
Okay.
First and foremost. So I mean, just using locally grown fruit where we can. So that was kind of what we did for the watermelon Gose. And as far as the lime, like, I don't want to say the watermelon cut some of the tartness out of it, but like we thought we could maybe balance it out a little bit more.
You did a good job.
Yeah, getting a little bit more acidity with the lime version of that.
Yeah,
but essentially, awesome. We had all three versions on at once, so you could taste the base Gose, you could taste the one treated with watermelon, or the one treated with watermelon.
Oh, that's awesome.
So,
dang.
Yeah, it's kind of just like an evolution. And we do that with a lot of our beers, actually. Not just sours, but essentially we can make like a base beer, like even a base stout, and then we can take different barrels of that off and treat them differently. That way you get to try just a few different versions. And it's all, if you like the base beer, chances are you might like all the different variants, but we've done that a lot with our stouts as well. So
sweet. Cool. Matt, thank you for coming on. Short but sweet, and we appreciate it, my man.
Thank you so much.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.